Welcome back to Transformers Cyberverse. In today's review, we're taking a look at episode 5 of season 2, Trials.
Yeah!
We begin with both the Autobots and Decepticons simultaneously locating and mapping out all of the ground bridges created by the Allspark, which will somehow allow them to triangulate its position, which, as it turns out, is smack dab in the middle of Africa, in the Central African Republic by my estimate. Interesting. That's pretty close to Wakanda. And before anyone gets upset, yes, I know Wakanda is not a real place. I just think it's pretty cool that these two fictional locations are near each other. And just think about it, how cool would it be if the Allspark and Vibranium were somehow related? Or what if they used the Allspark to make a Transformer made out of Vibranium? Which reminds me, I never did finish that Transformers vs. Avengers crossover comic review, did I? I really should get back to my IDW comic reviews when I get the chance. Anyway, steering back towards the episode at hand, the meta reason that the Allspark is located in Africa is probably because that's how Cheetor got his alt mode. Cheetahs live in Africa, so it makes sense that's where he'd be. I suppose he might have scanned his alt mode from a zoo. Now that I think about it, that would have been a cool way to have a few more potential Beast Wars cameos. But I digress. So, both the Autobots and Decepticons locate the Allspark and send in their own teams to retrieve it at the exact same time. What a coincidence. But for some reason, only Optimus and Megatron actually get teleported through. Well, as you can guess, Optimus and Megatron fight for a second, but Cheetor interrupts them.
Greetings! I am Cheetor, Guardian of the Allspark.
To their surprise, Cheetor already seems to know about them and begins asking them some interesting questions. On the question of why they want the Allspark, Optimus says that he wants to use it to restore life to Cybertron.
Cybertron is dead because of my actions. I must return the Allspark and bring the planet back to life.
Optimus seems to carry some guilt. Apparently he did something to kill the planet. I wonder if we'll learn exactly what that was in a future episode.
He lies! Prime wants the Allspark so he can destroy the Decepticons and create an Autobot race that will obey him only.
Now I wonder if this is actually what Megatron believes, or if he's really the one who's lying here. Didn't we learn in a previous episode that that is exactly what Megatron wants to do with the Allspark?
My spark was chosen to be the Guardian of the Allspark.
Now this is interesting. Cheetor says that his spark was chosen. Not created, but chosen. We know through other fiction that the Allspark isn't just a magical energy MacGuffin. It's also literally the Transformers version of the afterlife. When a Transformer dies, its spark joins the Allspark. And as we've seen in other media, it's entirely possible for a spark that has joined the Allspark to be retrieved and brought back to life. Usually characters named Optimus.
I've done it. Optimus Prime lives. Our leader is back.
Yes, Skylings. And now no force in the universe will stop me.
By the primes, I don't believe it.
Well, that's just Prime.
Big butt?
So my interpretation of Cheetor's line here is that despite him acting like a naive child, he is in fact not a fresh protoform. He's actually a reincarnated, possibly ancient Transformer who's had their spark recalled and reborn in a new body. Which is very fascinating to think about. I would love to hear more about who Cheetor was in his past life. Continuing with Cheetor's questions, he mentions that Optimus was previously a file clerk, which is a reference that dates back to War Within, where Optimus, or Optronics as he was known at the time, was a data archivist. Basically another name for a file clerk. While in the G1 cartoon, he was a dock worker named Orion Pax.
I'm Orion Pax. And that's Dion. He's my best friend. And this is Ariel. And keep away from her. She's my girlfriend.
Don't listen to him. He's just the jealous type.
Most Transformers continuities these days seem to use a mix of both of these origins, keeping the Orion Pax name and the file clerk or similar job. Funny though, they don't reference Optimus Prime having a different name prior to the war. Cheetor asks Optimus who Megatron defeated in his most famous victory in the gladiatorial arena, but Optimus doesn't know.
Devastator Maximus, how can you not know this? I crossed his brain module.
Devastator Maximus? Wasn't that the guy from Energon? No, that was Constructicon Maximus. Close though. Well, it seems that despite being at war with each other for countless millennia, Optimus and Megatron know nothing about each other. Why do they kind of sound like an old married couple? Giving up on trivia questions, Cheetor reverts to a trial by combat.
Wait! If I'm to trust you with the Allspark, you must show me that you can wield great power.
Listen, with great power comes...
Great responsibility?
I was going to stick with bitches, but if you want to be a virgin for the rest of your life...
Uncle Albert!
My balls!
So, Cheetor teleports around and drags a jet and a helicopter through the portals to become Optimus and Megatron's new spark armor in order to help sell those new toy gimmicks. I find it kind of funny imagining what must have happened on the other side of those portals. Just soldiers standing around aghast as a giant cheetah print robot steals a couple of their multi-million-dollar vehicles and then disappears. Cheetor uses the Allspark to give them their new armor. Optimus and Megatron clash as Cheetor provides the play-by-play.
Good show, Optimus! And Megatron hits back! Impressive! Looks like the trials will soon be over.
It's weird though how Cheetor seems to be apathetic as to who actually wins, as if the Autobots winning over the Decepticons or vice versa doesn't really matter to him either way. However, with everyone's backs turned, Starscream makes his long-awaited return. He strips Optimus and Megatron of their new armor and steals the Allspark. Geez, I hope Hasbro wasn't planning on selling too many of those Spark Armor Optimus Primes and Megatrons. They only had their armor in the show for like 2 minutes. Who knows, maybe they'll get their armor back later. Optimus accuses Megatron of planning this. Does he not watch Megatron's vlog? And Cheetor goes with Optimus and joins the Autobots.
Look! That's him! That's the Moon Cheetah! Greetings! I am Cheetor, guardian of the Allspark, and future friend to you all.
Meanwhile, all this time, Slipstream has been searching for her Seekers, which she eventually tracks down to their old base at the missile silo, which we saw in the episode Siloed.
Thundercracker! Commander Slipstream! You're here! You're not supposed to be here. I mean, what are you doing here?
Where are the others?
She berates her Seekers for disobeying her, except as she soon learns, they are not her Seekers, as it is finally revealed that, yes, regardless of Megatron's orders, the Seekers are still under Starscream's command. And that's the end of this episode. Starscream, who we were supposed to believe was dead, being revealed to still being alive, and honestly looking none worse for the wear, in possession of both Vector Sigma and the Allspark, which can only spell trouble for both the Autobots and Decepticons. This was a pretty awesome episode. I mean, in addition to the Starscream still being alive reveal in the last minute, which was spoiled in the trailers anyways, we also finally got to have Cheetor fully revealed, which again, spoiled in the trailers, and we got some interesting bits of lore about Optimus, Megatron, and potentially Cheetor. I really want to know if there's more to that line about Cheetor saying that he was chosen by the Allspark. Is he actually reincarnated like I suspect, and not just a newly birthed spark? It is interesting how Cheetor seems to know things about Optimus and Megatron that he shouldn't if he was just a protoform born on Earth who's been spying on them for quite some time. How would he have known that Optimus used to be a file clerk on Cybertron, or that Megatron was a gladiator? This seems like information that Cheetor probably wouldn't know, unless he's somehow being fed this knowledge by the Allspark. So, to reuse the old catchphrase, I wonder if there's more to Cheetor than meets the eye. As for what Starscream plans to do with the Allspark and Vector Sigma, well, we'll just have to wait until the next episode, Dark Birth. But again, I think we have an idea from the trailers. For now, those are my thoughts on this episode, Trials. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you back here for the next one. Until then.
I like this one.